9:08's the time. Never freshen up weather bug one more time for you. We're up to 35 degrees. And what is it, Gunner? Mostly clear skies out there right about now?
Pretty nice right now.
You got a good look out there the window better than I did. I had to close this one because somehow the sun started moving this way and blinding me. It's AM 650 KGAB Radio. My name is Glenn Woods. Thanks for joining me. So, Gunner Malm, did I do that right?
You did.
Okay, good.
Correct.
Is in the studio with me, and I always worry about when I have names like that, and he's running for Laramie County Commissioner. So before I get into all of what he wants to do as Laramie County Commissioner, first question I always ask candidates, whether you, let's get this microphone a little bit closer to you, whether we get into, well, we will get into what you want to do with the office. But for those people who know you or not, doesn't matter. It's a good idea to review the resume. So you are originally from where?
I'm originally from here in Laramie County. I'm actually sixth generation in Laramie County, over 140 years. And I know a lot of people kind of say, you know, is that a gimmick or whatever? But to me, I say it with an immense sense of pride because of what this county has given my family for so long. I'm a local real estate agent. I'm an agent and owner at Coldwell Banker, the Property Exchange.
Okay.
Past public policy chair for the Wyoming Association of Realtors, so I've done some lobbying on behalf of property owners for private property rights, fighting against taxation, like the transfer tax, sales tax on services, those kind of things. I'm a City of Cheyenne resident, so I think all of those things, and a business owner here, I think all of those things kind of make me uniquely qualified to represent the entire county.
Okay. Was there a catalyst moment that made you say, I want to run because, or has this been something that over time you've just taken an interest?
You know, I wrote my first letter to a politician when I was in the 5th grade. I wrote a letter to Bill Clinton telling him how he could fix the national debt.
Mm-hmm. Spend less.
Yeah. And so politics has always been something that I've been very interested in. And as I progressed in when I entered the real estate field, I immediately was drawn to the public policy side of our industry. And it's just kind of the natural progression, I think, of my life. It's not, me running isn't an indictment of the current system or anything like that. I see an opportunity and a need for maybe a voice like mine on the commission. Okay. I thought the time was right.
Is there something that draws you specifically to county commissioner, let's say over city council or some other office?
You know, the county commission is very much an administrative role. Roles and the guidelines are kind of dictated by statute. My background in real estate, I think, lends itself to the conversations that are had in that county building quite a bit, as far as land use, economic development, and then just my history as a fiscal conservative. I see some areas where maybe we could spend more wisely. Okay.
Now, you will get hit, I'm sure, with criticism or concerns that, well, if you're in the real estate business and you want to be on a county commission, well, this guy can just go ahead and rig the system in his favor there. And your answer would be?
Well, when I couldn't vote or have a say on any particular project that my company would financially gain from. But I think overall development of land in the county and responsible growth is good for all citizens in the county as a whole. And if we don't want to raise the tax base, so we have to raise, or tax basis. We don't want to raise, beyond where we're at. We have to expand the tax base. And the only way to do that is with a healthy and thriving community. And I think I'm uniquely suited to do that through my knowledge I've gained by working with buyers and sellers and seeing why people have come here and why people have chosen not to come here, in fact.
Gunner Malm is my guest. If you have any questions, grab your headphones because you probably have a question here. Phone number to get involved, 632-6500. If you're outside Wyoming, well, I'm sorry, he's a county commissioner, so I'm going to stick to Wyoming calls. This is Glenn, who's on the phone.
Yeah, I think what he just said is a bunch of hogwash, and he says he's a Republican, and he ain't no Republican. All he wants to do is tax people for more money. He ain't even a Republican. He's a rhino.
Okay, and your answer is?
Sir, I guess I would have to agree to disagree with you. I don't know where I said that I wanted to tax people more. I said if we expand the tax base, there isn't a need to increase taxes. Okay. And I think that being a fiscal conservative is looking at those places where we could more appropriately spend the tax dollars that we have and being a good steward of the money that's already been allocated to us.
Now, expanded tax base, would that be, a lot of conversation about diversifying the economy right now. Would that be part of it?
Yes, definitely. And along those lines of that conversation, I think when we look at diversifying the economy, we have to look at diversifying what we consider infrastructure as well, and then see what the county's role in that new infrastructure is. So in the changing economy where roads are vital to durable goods, access to high-speed internet and solid electricity are going to be vital things in the digital world.
Okay, so bringing in, let's say, high-speed internet and good electricity, what is the role of government for doing that as the role of private sector as well? In other words, where does government step in and take charge, or where do you just leave it up to the private sector?
There was some legislation in this last session that would have given municipalities and government entities more of an ability to play a role in bringing bringing a better bargaining power for consumers to the table. And unfortunately, that was kind of done away with, or there was a substitute bill that kind of did the opposite of what the original intent was. So I think, though, the government's role isn't necessarily, we can't provide internet access to everybody, but we can make sure that the infrastructure is there. Here in Laramie County, we have a lot of fiber optic cable that's been brought in over the years, and making sure that residents, business owners, and people like that have access to that, or running that kind of infrastructure out to our business parks. We have lots of large employers out there. It'd be nice to see a shift in focus to maybe smaller entrepreneurial type things, business incubators, kind of taking what Endow has done on a macro scale and bringing it and looking at it at a micro level within Laramie County.
Okay. So, and again, when we get back into diversifying the economy, bringing more of a tax base in for something like that, how does the county attract other businesses that we don't have into Laramie County? How do you plan, or do you have a plan for bringing those businesses in?
Well, the old adage has always been, well, we've got low taxes because we don't have a state income tax. But unfortunately, it's not really enough anymore in the changing way of the world. When site selectors, I've seen this in my personal business, when site selectors are looking to choose Laramie County, property tax, lower property taxes, no state income tax, while they're on the list, they're not the only criteria. People are looking for a robust and full quality of life. So that includes making sure that we have good schools, good access to medical care, active social settings. The city of Cheyenne's done a great job with the Greenway. That's a great amenity. The county's done a great job with the Archer Complex. It was awesome to read today that's almost going to be shovel ready, or is shovel ready, out there at the event center. I think those are the kind of things that really add to the overall breadth of a community and what it can offer businesses as they look to move here.
Gunnar Malm is running for county commissioner. If you have any questions, and of course that's Laramie County, any questions for him, 632-6500 is the phone number. 9:19's the time. It's AM 650 KGAB Radio. My name is Glenn Woods. Thanks for joining me. My guest is Gunnar Malm, who is running for Laramie County Commissioner. And phone lines are open, 632-6500. This is Glenn, who's on the phone.
Good morning, guys. This is Cody.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Very good, sir.
Hey
What
there.
you got for us?
Hey, thanks for coming on today, Gunnar. I appreciate, being vocal and telling us what you think. It's always interesting. My question is there any room in the conversation for not development? I mean, it just seems like everybody, that's always their platform, is we got to have more development and more business and more jobs and more infrastructure, on and on and on and on, which, if I wanted to live in Denver, I would go down the road a ways. I guess I'm frustrated as an agriculturalist here, with our lack of groundwater, and it seems the state has continually basically told us that basically too bad for you guys. We're going to encourage development, and we're going to give permits for more and more water usage, and not honor our older rights. I just, and then always a conversation about more jobs and on and on. Well, just try and hire somebody. It is difficult to find people that want to work. To me, I guess as a farmer, rancher, small businessman here in the eastern part of the county, every time that we hear more about more development, I just feel like it's just going to continue to push on me. So how would you address that?
Hi, Cody. Thanks for the question. Yeah, I definitely think it is a balance. I think that we have to respect and make sure that we are not infringing too much upon our agricultural sector out there. My uncle, Don Brown, still farms potatoes out there by Pine, and have had many conversations with him about the groundwater, the state's moratorium, things like that. But I do think that in terms of right around the county and the kind of the city boundaries, that we have to just make sure we're having managed responsible growth. Growth is going to come as long as the county continues to be the place that it's been for my entire life, which is a welcoming community where entrepreneurs can thrive, because that's really what I love about this county. So we're always going to attract people. So I think we have to have that balance of responsible growth while respecting and maintaining the heritage that, especially there in eastern Laramie County with farming and ranching in the agriculture sector, what that brings to the county as well. It's not an easy answer. There's not like this is exactly how much we should grow, or no growth. I don't believe in a no growth situation. I'm kind of the philosophy that you're either green and growing or adapting, or you're ripe and dying. So
Gunnar Malm was my guest, and the phone number to call in 632-6500. And back to the phones I go. This is Glenn. Who's on with us?
Hi, this is Judy, and I have one question I had, well, actually two. One kind of touched on the water and also the fracking and oil and gas and what he was concerned about with that. And I believe that's partially answered. But, I'm always hearing complaints about the roads with the oil companies, and then people who are worried about our aquifer. And I look at the growth and I just think, where is this water coming from? You go down to Colorado, you see the exact same thing. Where is it coming from, and how do you preserve it? And the second is a little bit more personal, and I would just like Gunnar to address it. In previous times, the reason I knew your name was through some pretty nasty personal invective that you threw up against M. Lee, a former commissioner, and I know you two never disagreed on anything, but it got really nasty. And I'd just like to know or be reassured that that's not going to happen again against people who come before you, because our commission's already gotten pretty closed-minded about who can come and present items at their board meeting. So anyway, I'll hang up and let you answer. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Judy. I appreciate the call. So first off on the oil and gas stuff, as far as the county commission goes in oil and gas development, the only things that I'm aware that we can really do is those road use agreements and try and make sure that the oil and gas companies are being good partners. All the oil and gas leasing, that goes through a state agency, which is the Oil and Gas Leasing Commission. So we can't really prevent new wells, but we can just try and make sure that, I guess, everybody's playing nice in the sandbox is the best way I can put it. On the other question, that was a candidate that I really disagreed with. I disagreed with his vision for the county. I disagreed with the way he treated people, and I expressed myself as I felt was a right, a constitutional right to be against a candidate. I can assure you that in my personal life, in my business life, in my political life now going forward, looking at this election and beyond, that's not something that I would necessarily do again or do in the way that I did. But really, in the reality of it is, I only posted screenshots of what the candidate actually had said himself. So I know some people disagreed with me, but I think the majority of voters the last 2 elections have kind of shown that they did agree with me. So.
Okay, my guest is Gunnar Malm. He's running for Laramie County Commissioner. Phone number to get involved, 632-6500. This is Glenn, who's on the phone.
That's Tonkin.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've been listening to this guy, and I always have proud of real estate agents running for a political office, but he pretty much sounds like a rhino, and then to find out that he has personally attacked a good friend of mine, Emily Hazenauer. You know, Emily's not the most educated guy, but he's honest, and you can bank on when he tells you something, he means it. I wouldn't trust this guy as far as I could toss him.
Okay, and your answer to that is?
Again, I guess I would have to agree to disagree with you as far as me being a rhino. I was raised to be a fiscal conservative. I have fought hard for the residents of Laramie County and the residents of the state of Wyoming in opposing taxes, such as the transfer tax on real property, fighting sales tax on services, fighting for private property rights for all residents, whether it be with subdivision regulations or other things that have come before our state legislature and even up to the national level. So while I can appreciate that the candidate was your friend, and I understand that, I stand by myself and my integrity and the fact that I have fought harder than a lot of people for the residents of this county already, and I intend to do that throughout this election and into the future, hopefully, if I'm elected.
I got another caller on the 3323 number. This is Glenn, who's on the phone.
Yeah, just have a quick question for the candidate. One of the big concerns I have is we need to have someone that's a voice for the people, and I think too often in that position on the county we get just kind of the same good old boy group, and so I'd like to know which of the candidates or which of the current commissioners do you most align with and agree with, and which ones do you most disagree with?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you know, currently I think our commission has a very good working relationship. Like I said, when I started today, me running is not an indictment of the current commission. I know that there's 3 spots available, 2 Republican incumbents. I'm a lifelong Republican, and I thought that 3rd spot I would lend myself well to the commission. You know, I respect Troy as a business owner, and as a commissioner, he does a great job up there. You've watched 3.5 years worth of meetings. He conducts himself in a great manner and seems to have the utmost respect for all county residents. Linda's a very nice lady. She is all over town. She's very involved.
She sends me messages all morning long. For those people who want to have a chance to talk with you more in person, because I still got some calls, but I'm running out of time. So there's a meetup with Malm.
Yeah, we're going to have a meetup with Malm. This will be the first of many, but this Wednesday morning, 7:30 to 9 a.m., Coffee Depot upstairs at the Asher. We're going to try and make this about a weekly or bi-weekly throughout the campaign, and we'll make our way out to Pine Bluffs, Albin, and Burns as well. Try and get in touch with all those folks. So.
Okay. And we were just talking before I came on the air. I tried that new restaurant, Burns. It's nice.
I grabbed a Gatorade there. I'm going to have to try some food.
Okay, we'd try the malt.
I will.
The food was good. It was all like handcrafted, handmade right there, but the malts were just the best. Okay, so if anyone wants to also find out more about you online, social media, website?
Yeah, malmforcommissioner.com, and then Gunnar Malm for County Commissioner on Facebook.
All right. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Glenn.